Hello and welcome to the Curriculum Development Initiative for New Jersey Gear Up, Fall 2013, Big Ideas in Lesson Planning. In this session, we will explore further the CAP writing strategy with specific attention to the technique of variation. The objectives of today's session are to introduce the CAP writing style, to model the writing techniques, and to reinforce use of 5E lesson planning templates, demonstrating the use of the 5E lesson plan format. The CAP writing style is a college-ready writing style. Emphasis on the use of 200 words or less to communicate ideas is characteristic of this style. Concise organization builds on the use of effective language. The writer makes choices that allows the reader to easily understand the text. Accuracy of language addresses misconceptions and questions that the reader may have about content as the text unfolds, filling in gaps that may emerge for the reader. Precise language uses specific vocabulary and grammar to help the reader develop context. Use of appropriate capitalization, applications of the text to others' works, and appropriate use of punctuation help the reader to follow along and confirm the authenticity of the information. There are three perspectives to consider in the CAP writing technique. The first considers content, the second considers language, and the third considers conventions used for effective writing. CAP writing is a tiered approach to writing. Perspective 1, academic habit formation, allows writers to develop and focus their content, the intended audience for the piece, and the purpose of the piece. Even if the writing is designed as personal reading, an awareness of these three elements should strengthen the quality of the writing experience. In perspective 2, general communication skills are developed by paying attention to capitalization, applications of similar ideas in previously published works, and punctuation. Writers have opportunities to develop their own grammar and listening. In perspective 3, language skills are developed, focusing the writer on the use of effective words and text organization, accuracy of language, and specific vocabulary to build the reader's confidence in the quality of the information being shared. This is a strategy for writing across the curriculum and is useful for both formal and informal writing types and audiences. All writing should be viewed as a potential point of academic support. For many of our students, writing does not come naturally to them, however, speaking does. It is for that reason that Roman Jakobson's model of the communication process provides an excellent backdrop for understanding purpose in writing. Essential questions the writer must ask of himself include questions about the content, audience, and purpose for the piece. Techniques include transcribing personal speech, transcribing dialogue, and variations on others' work. Transcribing builds capacity in two ways: by attending to the need for active listening strategies and the need to develop efficient revising processes. Variations on others' works provide a framework, patterns, and models for the writer to follow, emulate, adopt, and modify as they develop their own writing style. It also provides, in many cases, a source of inspiration for the reader and therefore the writer. This technique may be especially useful to novice writers or writers facing writer's block. In this webinar, we will discuss variations on others' works around the theme of seasons. Here is an example from Bach. We will be using Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Listen to this song. Listening to recorded music bounds activities using time, yet when the song stops, processing continues. Listening to recorded music helps inspire communication. It allows the reader and the writer or speaker to become partners in communication with the original composer. Listening also helps develop linguistic acuity and build critical application skills, as words take on specific and perhaps new meanings. A common example of variations of music and literature is Du Bois's Soul of Black Folks. In this example, we see Chapter 1 of Our Spiritual Strivings. Set to Negro spirituals, Du Bois frames each of his essays with a song. For this technique, writers may do variations on historical documents, classical texts, or contemporary texts. Using text features, new vocabulary, and specific punctuation or spacing styles, a pattern from which to develop their own writing emerges. Following the same pattern, we can use variations on other music, more popular music, to encourage student writing. Here's a variation on The Living Years, a song made popular in the 1980s by Mike and the Mechanics. Read the passage and begin to understand how this could possibly be used to frame something as simple as a college essay. In either case, use text features and other features of the piece to begin to develop the writing process. Note how in the variation on The Living Years, the author has decided to take a similar theme describing family relationships. When thinking about the Common Core, attention to cohesion, precise language, graphics, and ways to articulate specific ideas is important in this technique of cap writing. Expectations for writing as expressed by the Common Core College and Career Readiness Anchor Standards are replete with examples in support of cap writing. In addition to the expectation that students write informative and explanatory text that conveys a range of complex ideas and concepts, standards for production and distribution of writing that include full awareness of task, audience, and purpose, revision, and new approaches to writing are discussed in Standards for 11th through 12th grade writing, Codes 4 and 5. Variation strategies for cap writing fit neatly within the College and Career Readiness Anchor Standards that expect students to draw evidence from literary or informational text to support analysis, reflection, and research. In general, cap writing focuses on concise language, accurate vocabulary, and precise language, using words efficiently and effectively. The use of common writing tools like grammar, quoted text, and text features is important. This technique, variation, however, capitalizes on the idea of applying others' work and ideas to your own writing development. As a next step, practice varying a famous composition on your own. Feel free to share your transcript with our Gear Up PLC on Edmodo.com. Happy learning!